So, namaste and welcome to Satsang today. And if you're new to these teachings, then you're very, very welcome. And if you're not new, then you're still very welcome. And Satsang is just so lovely that we have this time together um, to simply be together and to dive more deeply and experientially into who we really are, what we really are. This awakening to our real nature is both a seeing of what we are, but also a seeing of what we're not. And at certain times in my own journey, sometimes seeing who I really was harder, getting to grips with self-inquiry and things like that. And then sometimes seeing who I was not, being willing to let go of my old ideas about myself was harder. Somehow we have this strange habit as human beings that even the thoughts that we really don't like, that are causing us a lot of pain inside, perhaps thoughts that we're not good enough or something like that. Even this central idea that we are a someone, a person, a body and a mind only. This is the idea that this is all I am. These ideas are so painful, and yet we hold on to them with such tenacity. Somehow they are familiar, and perhaps we might, as much as we want to wake up to the truth and live from that place, we might wonder who we would be without those ideas. Sometimes in a positive way, I would be much freer, much happier without these old ideas. But also, there can be some fear there. Who would I be without these ideas? Even though they're painful, I'm so used to them now. I'm so used to thinking this way about myself. And I wanted to really look at this together here today because what took most of the time in my own journey was coming to a place where I was willing to look at anything and question if it was true. And I was starting to really see that my essential nature, just like yours, is this emptiness, this nothingness, this presence or consciousness. And I'm using all of these names for what we really are synonymously. And discovering that you are not at all what you think you are can be exciting, but it can also be scary. The first time I experienced that I was not a person and I looked inside, tried to find this person called Helen that was supposed to be on this journey to awakening, trying to get there and um, getting nowhere with it. I was going to say getting closer, but that wasn't really what felt true. The first time I looked inside and tried to find that person, that someone that my whole life had been about, my dreams, my desires, my goals, my relationships, my karmic patterns, my awakening, that me just was not there. There was no person. There was a sense, a sensation, a feeling like there should be someone here as a result of sense perception going on and thoughts and emotions and the presence of a human body. But there was nobody to whom they belonged. Those thoughts, those emotions, those desires, fears, doubts, all of it. That was really shocking. And I'd heard about non-duality before. I'd heard that there was no person, and okay. But to actually experience it was something very different, and there was a lot of fear that came up, a deep sense of freedom, but also some fear at the same time. And in that moment when some fear arose, something inside began to hit the panic button, began to put the brakes on. And this willingness that I'd had to really see who I was, that brought me to self-inquiry in the first place, suddenly seemed to vanish. And it took really probably a whole year after that to get back to that same kind of willingness. So all of this is to really say that if we look at what the process of awakening is, then we might be more prepared if we can put it into a context that we can digest more easily. It might serve as well. So first of all, we're going to go through a process where, and you've already been through this, or else you wouldn't be here in this satsang or interested in this kind of very direct seeing of what's true. We're not believing in something. We're certainly not having faith in something. That's all totally okay, but we want to hear in satsang directly experience what we really are, so that it's our truth and that we have experienced it. It's not something we've read in a book or heard someone talk about. So first we're going to have to experience that our old idea of ourselves, who we think we are, is too tight, too small, too rigid, and really quite painful. So if you've experienced that these old ways of thinking is becoming more and more painful, it's perfectly normal. Somehow, for most of us, certainly it was this way for me. Without this squeeze, when life squeezes us, that how I think about myself is becoming more and more, it just feels terrible when I think these thoughts about myself. When I feel small and limited and finite and separate, then my body tells me this is not true. And my emotions tell me. And then we'll begin to discover what we really are. And that is this formless consciousness, ground of all manifestation, from which all manifestation arises. One singular, omnipresent, indivisible presence. A deep stillness and silence of this great being, the one being that is appearing as all of these forms, in which there is no suffering, no birth, life, or death, none of the usual things that we fear so much. So we go through a process of beginning to recognize that. And then this being willing to see what's not true. Eventually, we're asked to question everything that we've held onto, bit by bit. Every idea that we've used as a reference point for ourselves. And the things that are comfortable to let go of, the things we easily let go of, but also the things we really want to hold on to. The idea that I am a woman and that I am a mother and, I live, this is where I live, this is the things I like to do, all of these things. Eventually, we'll have to come to question. The reason that sometimes awakening seems to take so long is because we are going through a process, at least the mind and the body is, which is bringing us to this point where we're willing to question anything. There's a female body here, but can I say I'm a woman if I am pure, formless presence, presence before form. Can I say I'm a mother? Those are the roles that my body is playing, and it plays them well. So, what can we do then to speed up this willingness to let go or question any thought? And it doesn't mean, by the way, that we have to literally go through every single thought and be willing to let it go, because that would take forever, it'd be endless. But a general willingness is developing inside of us that is growing. What if what I think about life and myself and everything is not true? And eventually we arrive at what if no thought is true? How would you know yourself? How would you move through the world? How would you go to work? How would you raise the kids? How would you be with your parents if there were no thoughts being believed at all? For me, this question brought up one of my greatest fears, which was at the time, will I even be able to function at all without thoughts? And when I really looked at this question, there was this recognition that there's something inside of me that really does not want to let go of any thoughts. Maybe you can feel it in some moments. Of course, some part of us is willing to let go of anything, whatever it costs to reach awakening. But something is also not willing. Can you feel that inside? You can sense that when a old thought arises in some emotion, something wants to look at it and let it go. And something else really wants to hold on. You can feel. And I thought the process of awakening was to get rid of all of that which does not want to let go and get more of this that does want to let go. It seemed logical at the time. So that when a trigger or something happens and the body is flooded with some emotion and the mind is going crazy, I thought the goal was to get to a point where there was only willingness to let go of that. But I actually found out it was a lot easier than that after a process of struggling to try to get rid of something. First of all, you can't really get rid of something that does not exist. This separate sense of self that we have taken ourselves to be is just a sense, a sensation. It feels like someone is living in this body. And when we look in our inquiry and in meditation, we don't find any person. It's an energy, a sense, maybe we could say. So, what if it's not true? What if we don't have to let go of this unwillingness to let go? What if we don't have to get rid of anything in the awakening process? That which wants to hold on and likes the familiarity of these ideas we've had about ourselves, even the ones that really hurt. It's okay, it can be there, it can stay there. We're not out to destroy anything. And this presence that we are can't destroy anything. It's only able to welcome and allow and be with. That's all it can do. Maybe our role then isn't to get rid of anything. We don't have to destroy our sense of separate self. Only to see enough times that it's not real. It's just a sense. Just a sense. Feels like, seems like there's someone living in our body, right? And then to turn towards what is true already, what is already living free. If in our awakening we're battling against something or trying to get rid of something, then we are just as much caught in illusion as anything. Instead, we can come, and something which is much easier is to recognize what we really are. And we can do that in our meditation, our inquiry, as I've said. So just to check now, to stop for a moment, let's check in and see, are we trying to get rid of anything? When we do our meditation, for example, are we trying to get to this place and move away from that, to get rid of this? When we contemplate or do some self-inquiry, are we doing that to try to get rid of the separate self? And, we realize that that is not the way. Only the sense of a someone needs to get rid of itself. That which we really are already has no need to get rid of anything and can't. And I've repeated that twice because it's really important. So for me, when I really started to get this, there was a softening, a letting go that happened by itself, a letting go of trying to get rid of something. Even a letting go of trying to let go. There was just this opening somehow that began to occur, and a curiosity as to what's already free about me. And realizing that the more attention I put on something that was unreal, this person I had taken myself to be, the more real it seemed, the more problematic this sense of a someone seemed, this separate self. It was simply enough to notice it when it arose and then simply make a choice to turn towards that which is real. So not an aversion, not a, I don't want to go towards this, I'm going over here where I'm safe. It was more of a, this is not real, and this is real. Let me spend more time with this that's already real about me and stable, permanent, unchanging, and already free. And my body immediately began to thank me. It was like, please, can we stop trying to tear apart something that uh, isn't really there? That's a lot of effort for nothing and bound to fail. You can't get rid of something that isn't there. And we tried, right? We've tried really hard. I know I did for years. And so turning towards what's real with just curiosity, not even knowing how to do that. Of course, we have practices to turn towards this presence. I'm going to call it presence here tonight. To be interested in finding out more, to seeing it clearer, deeper. And what does it mean if we are this presence already? It means we're already free. It means that we are already living from the place that we're trying to get to. It's just that all of our attention is on our thoughts, what's going on between our ears, that we're missing out on the fullness of what's already real and true about us. So perhaps now is a good moment that if we're battling something, some old remnant of our old sense of self, that we can put down this battle. There are things that we would like to be different, of course. We'd like to feel more peaceful, more joyful, more free. We'd like the mind to be quieter, probably. All of those things. But that's not going to happen by pushing against what is over here, this separate sense of self. As we turn towards what is real, we're interested in what it's like to be this presence already, to not be in a process of coming over here. This is where we are already. We've been the presence forever. We're just being listening to thoughts about what we think we are. Once we see that that was never real, how much more attention do we need to give it? Not taking attention away from this sense of a person because it's wrong or it shouldn't be there, just because it's not relevant anymore. There's a difference. Can you feel the difference in the energy? If I want to um, learn to speak a different language, let's say French, my French is not very good at all, so this might be me. And I pick up a book, How to Speak German. I'm not going to shout at this book, about learning German because it's wrong and it's bad, it should go away. I'm just going to set it aside and pick up a book on French, right? Learning to speak French. That's what we're doing here. We're not berating the old sense of self. You should go away, you're terrible. We're just coming to what is true already. It's a different way. The more we move towards or interested in or curious about what it is to be presence already, the quieter this old sense of self is going to be. These fears, even about letting go. Can I function if I let go? Will I care about being a mother and a wife and a sister? Will I care about being whatever my role is in my work, my family? Will I even care about awakening if I let go? Yes. And you'll watch your body do those roles with even more love and clarity, without any sense of inadequacy, without any doubts, without any fear. Just being present as presence to all the ways you're appearing as father and mother and sister and brother and employee and all these things. And I'm saying all of this because it took me so long to stop fighting against something that wasn't there. It feels like it's there. I get that totally. It felt really real, so real. And this sense of a person seemed to have so many problems. And my life was in a complete mess. And my mind said, well, how can you turn away from that? You've got to sort the problems out first. But that wasn't really working for me. In fact, it was making it all much, much worse. I had to admit in the end that if there wasn't really a person, if I'd never been a person, actually, then none of the problems and karmic patterns of this person could be real also. And I'm not talking about denial here. We're not avoiding or in denial. If the body or the finances or the relationships need some looking at, we do that, of course. But we're not trying to get rid of some patterns that don't apply to us. Our practices come to show us that these karmic patterns we think we're dealing with were never ours, actually. They they belong to an imaginary entity, a person who isn't really there. So, in the recognition that this presence we are, and we can touch into that right now. If we look at, let's just take a moment, all of us to, if you want to, of course, to feel into what is this I that's present to these words, that's present to this satsang? What is this I that is present to an emotion if it arises? What is it that all the senses are reporting to? And I'm not asking us to think about presence, to just be curious for this moment together. What is it that's present here now? What is it that is quietly here in the background already? What do we really mean when we say I? Something is aware of the mind, the thoughts, the body, even the sense of someone, sense of being someone, is known by something else that is not a someone. Every experience you've ever had has been seen and known by this presence that you are. It's not something that you can grasp with your mind or see with your eyes, but it is here. There's something here that understands these words and knows what you're seeing through your eyes, knows how the body feels. It's present already. Just feeling into that. It's always here. We've just called it I or me, and we've assumed that it's a person. But is it really? There's something here that is you. What is that? So just turning towards like this, just being interested in. We don't have to necessarily find an answer right here, right now. Might do. When I really began to look like this, I found that there was something here that's not a thing, something that is no thing, no object, not tangible, not visible, and yet somehow very much present. The presence of you, and that you are not what you thought you were. Just feeling this, sensing into this, knowing that as we do this, looking, this seeing, it's not important so much to actually find presence. It's more important, auspicious, that we're willing to look like this. In this moment, we're just curious, we're open, and our body will begin to respond to that. Notice how your body feels when you're not pushing against something. You're just curious of what's here. So just feeling into what is this I? What does that mean, I? Let me say my life, my awakening, my relationships. What do we mean? What are we referring to? We're not trying to find anything. We're not trying at all. We're just curious, open, softly, gently, willing to see. We don't have to work hard at this. This is what we already are. So, just turning towards what's real like this. What if that was all that was really necessary? Not even making sure you're able to find what you are, just being willing to. Just being willing to, like this. Awakening needn't take so long or be so hard if we're willing already to look. And then allowing what's revealed to contradict your ideas about who you think you are. This that we find, this presence, is not unworthy at all. There's no question of deservingness here, or readiness for awakening, or any of those things. Just this formless no-thingness presence that is already free, already complete, not suffering, not able to suffer even. So, I hope that you had a little taste of something, even if it's only for a tiny moment, where you're not holding yourself in a shape, not being someone who's got to get rid of something, not being someone who's on a mission or has a job to do. Awakening isn't about getting rid of something, it's more about being willing to look and see. And if we can do this as much as we want to, but definitely once a day, just looking like this, being curious about what is already here and free. Our journey really isn't to become free, but to see that we already are free, free of all suffering, free of all karmic patterns. They don't apply here. Okay, so I will open it up for some, if anyone has any questions or challenges that are going on right now for you in your awakening. And or if you want to do some looking and seeing, some inquiry, I'm more than happy to do that. So we'll start with Mitra. There we go. Wonderful.
Hi, Helen.
I love.
So good to just connect with you. I wasn't able to do that, but today I thought I raise this question and really want to participate in the retreat, and but I wasn't able even to formulate a question. But I just before Satsang, I wrote something I was hoping to share with you. And if you have any advice, I really, really appreciate. At the end of the last retreat, end of seeking into freedom, I didn't feel like I had a big experience or a clear seeing or anything like that. But when the retreat finished after a couple of weeks, it was extraordinary. The seeker started to fall by itself, and that 5 years of intense seeking, which was so tiring.
Only 5 years.
But I was
Only five
Yeah, I
years.
had, yeah, well, I had more, but as a separate self-seeking.
Yeah,
But
I'm just
since I got interested,
teasing. Yeah,
yes,
sorry.
yes, but it was a very intense 5 years, like
Yeah, I can imagine. I can remember.
24/7. Yeah,
I remember. Yeah.
yes. And but I was doing regular practice before that retreat, and I had a really strong intention. I was really wanted to wake up. All that kind of thing was happening. But um, and it was such a relief when the seeker dropped. And however, soon after that, the uprising in Iran began, and followed by a war. And I became completely absorbed in that, in what was happening. And I went through deep feeling of hatred and disgust towards the brutality of the regime, and a lot of anger and grief came up, and uh, it all felt very strong and visceral. And then the war made everything even heavier. And in my daily life, I just go through waves of fear for Iran, hatred towards politicians. At times, it's so strong that if any of these politicians were around, honestly, I could really kill them with my own hands. I'm just expressing how I feel. Um, that so much anger and disgust and sadness, especially when I see the division among Iranians, and especially those ones that support war and that kind of thing, that is just really, I don't know what to say about that. And more than anything, a heartbreak that is with me all the time, and I can't get over it. Like, it feels like after 120 years of struggling for democracy and freedom, I mean, Iran, it's just, it's becoming a failed state. And, I just can't take this. And right now, I don't feel very motivated about myself, my awakening, my pain. They just feel so irrelevant. And um,
What if they're not
so you
different,
can,
though? What if this war that's going on is also the same thing as my awakening? What if they're not two different things?
that be?
Say again?
How could that be? Um,
Well, we see division on the outside and we feel divided on the inside, right? If I'm hating someone, anyone, then there's a deep sense of division within me. And we can see that division reflected inside, outside, right? And remembering that there is only one being, then anything that's going on must be part of our awakening. Just like every single person who has had a glimpse of truth, the very next thing that's going to happen is we're going to be asked to look at the thoughts that we really do not want to let go of, as we were saying earlier. And this is showing you some thoughts that you, on some level, really do not want to let go of.
so
Because
many.
there is a deep sense that if I let go of these ideas, then I'm not helping. In fact, maybe it even feels irresponsible to let go of hating someone or something in this kind of situation. But does it help anyone when you feel divided inside? What if, again, the last thing that we want to really look at is the first thing we should really look at? Maybe the way I'm thinking about this is not the highest way. Maybe the problem that I think is going on for me is not the actual issue. Maybe it's not what's going on out there. Of course, we want this war to stop. Of course, we do. We want all beings to be able to live in peace and safety and abundance and joy. What can we do about it ourselves? First of all, the most important thing, which is to let go of any sense of division inside ourselves. If we are holding on to some division, me and someone else, um, whether I really, really love someone else or really hate them, I still feel very separate to them. I'm holding them as separate. And when that happens, I haven't lost my power. I'm just using it all to feel divided. And that's why the body feels so terrible. So terrible. So there were many times in my own journey that the thing that I least wanted to admit, I had to look at that willingness to admit. And separating myself in my imagination really didn't help anyone at all when I looked. It certainly didn't help the people I was worried about in those moments. And can we find a new response, a new place inside that we can respond to this from a place of wholeness, where I recognize I am all of this, the humans that I like, and I'm concerned for the ones I don't like, and would, really like to have them change their ways. Instead of putting all my energy on pushing against something, can I come to a more stable place of wholeness where I'm really clear what I want to see happen, really clear. But I'm not dividing myself and therefore losing my access to have this actually manifest. You understand the difference, right? Has hating anyone made any difference to this, except making
No,
you feel terrible?
yeah, it doesn't have. I know that.
Yeah. And as much as we would like to, I certainly wanted to disagree with what I'm going to say in my past. Everybody is lost in their own thoughts. So everyone that's doing anything that we don't like, they're not a person choosing to do it. They are acting out their thoughts because they think their thoughts are real. So condemning that or blaming that or rejecting that is not going to change it. It's only going to make us feel weaker and more divided. And we can know very clearly what we want, and we don't condone what is going on. But dividing ourselves in our imagination is just not helping at all. We can never see unity in the world if we won't see it in ourselves first. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. It's like, right, okay, I have to save the world and I have to, this is what went on in my thought process. I've got to, somehow find a way to like everyone. And that's not what I'm talking about. We don't like their behaviors. We don't want those behaviors. But those people are just as lost in their thoughts as we were previously. And we've probably all done things looking back that even in this lifetime that we would not do again. And if people are acting from believing their thoughts, thinking that how they see the world through their thoughts is real, how would they know it's not? If everyone is acting from division and scarcity and separation and fear, how is more division inside me going to solve anything? You see where I'm going with this, right? Hopefully.
See, but I'm unable to pull myself out. I'm unable to. I know the hatred is the illusion. I know I'm not separate from any of these politicians. We all the same nothingness.
The I
But
that feels it cannot pull itself out of it does not exist. I'm being really direct here because I know that's what you've asked of me before. The I that is real, this presence, is already inclusive of everything and working towards a solution that suits everyone. No, nothing that has been started in separation can ever be finished and healed in separation. We must have a shift inside of ourselves. And that means challenging these ideas that we're so in love with. This idea that you can't pull yourself out of it feels very true, but it isn't true. You are the infinite presence. And maybe you can't feel that presence right now. I get that. But we can be willing to question, what if it's not true that I can't pull myself out? What if this is my willingness here in this moment to see if this is not in fact true? It feels true when I think I'm a person because I feel divided. But if I'm willing to question, what if that's not true? Then something can begin to shift, right? Some life force can begin to come back into the body. And the more life force there is there, because we're not dividing, separating ourselves in our thoughts, the easier it is to see what's really real, this presence.
I, I really want to get back to the practices. I really want to, I mean, to be honest, I really don't have that motivation to do it for me, but somehow I
Who's this
feel like,
me?
yeah, exactly. Who is this me? That's my issue. I don't find it. I know there is no person on me. And
So is what you're saying now true? I don't have the motivation to do it for me. I can't find my way. I can't pull myself out. If you want, I can be really direct here and just say
that's
it.
good.
Yeah. Are you talking from a person or from presence here?
I think I was talking about from a person.
Your
Yeah.
body will tell you, right? If it feels bad, it's in separation. A simple, easy way. If it feels bad at all, what I'm thinking about or speaking about, it's in separation. So can I just, in that moment, notice my body is giving me constant feedback on how close I am to truth, like on a compass. Here's truth, and here's illusion, separation. And my body's always telling me which one, right?
Yeah. I mean, most of the time my body is in contraction now. It's been some days. Um,
And
is there any,
it's telling you, you're
yeah,
lying, you're lying, you're still lying, you're
yeah.
nowhere near truth, you're getting further away from truth. Or it will tell you this is real, this is true, this is what is already here. Yeah.
How can I prepare for the retreat? Helen, what's your best, like, what should I
Just
do?
come as you are. Come as you are. Retreat works no matter what. However, our mind has an idea that we should enter retreat being all ready and prepared, and it never happens like that. Ever. Never. You just show up as you are. Right now. However you are when the retreat starts is perfect. It's the same for all of us.
I can't even do practice.
That's okay. It's just another idea we can challenge, right? I have to be a certain way before I can enter retreat. I've got to fix these problems first. But if anything is going to help, it's come spend 5 days in that loving presence with all of us, or with the one of us in all these bodies. Nothing's going to go wrong from there, right? Let me just bask in this presence with this family of beings that really want to be on retreat. 5 days of just being together as a family, like this we're doing here, but obviously for longer. Maybe it's not that I have to be ready for retreat. Maybe I just have to be willing to let go of that idea and just show up. People either come to retreat feeling really ready, and then the first day something comes up and they're like, I should never have come to retreat. I'm going home, or I'm quitting the Zoom, right? or the other way, or the other way around. You know,
Yes.
I don't want to go. I don't know why I'm going. Why did I sign up for this? And then they get to a retreat. Oh, this is why I signed up, you know. So it doesn't matter which way. Yeah.
Helen, I so appreciate your prayers for Iran. I'm not able to send any positive vibe.
Not true. Not true, not true, not true.
I'm so broken.
Not true either.
Yeah, this body and mind feels totally broken.
That low vibration is your body telling you you're pointing at illusion, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. But just being willing and open to notice that your body is telling you. It's a truthometer, right? The body is telling us always. It never lies. Never lies. It only has two answers, true or false. True or false.
thank you so much, Helen. I had so many conversations in my head with you all these months.
Yeah, I know.
Cried a lot and laughed with you and cried and everything.
If you want to come to retreat, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome. We'll laugh and cry together. Yeah.
I definitely will be there.
I will see you there,
Thank you
love.
so, so much.
Thank you.
And thanks for your prayers. I so
Always,
appreciate your prayers for Iran.
always, always. Yeah.
Thank
You.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Nikki. You're still muted there, love. There we go. Wonderful.
I've got my headphones on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it's a little muffled, but
Oh, okay. I might take them off. I don't know. Can you? Oh, gosh, sorry.
there's not
Um,
much difference actually. If you want to leave them on, it's fine. Yeah, whatever's better for
oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm much more in my discernment on
Good.
this call.
But you know, uh, for some of us, we met earlier in a class, and just for context for everyone else, we met earlier today in a class for the community, the um, HHS community, and you were expressing a lot of emotion and releasing some stuff, let's say, and um, we never need to apologize for that, right? Or think it should not be. And if we can't let some emotion out in a meeting like this, then, this is our safe place, isn't it, where we can be with our family. So,
Thank you so much. Um, and while you were taking us through, just allowing ourselves to remember who we are, it was just beautiful.
wonderful.
And I think I just want to say that my heart is just so full of gratitude for everything. I'm seeing like every, if I'm recognizing how the situation I'm going through at the moment, how it is all me. And I'm just so grateful to it because it's enabled me to open myself up to seeing all the beliefs that were there that aren't true. And they're all about the person that isn't even there. And the whole idea of letting it go, I'm seeing now that as soon as I even think of letting it go, it makes it real.
Mm.
And it's not even real. Um, and I don't even understand that. Like my mind wants to try and understand it, but it just can't. And that feels amazing as well. Um,
Isn't it strange when
like
we arrive at a place where we actually welcome some experience that we would never choose because of what it gives us spiritually. And then we can't understand something with our mind and we actually feel grateful for that. It's quite an advanced place to find ourselves, right? I'm going through
Well,
something that's horrible, but I'm grateful for it. I mean, who says that except a sage, you
I
know?
know. I don't even know what's going to happen. And I actually, it's so weird. Like, there's somewhere in me does care, but I actually don't care
Yeah,
because the one that cares, I'm looking, I, every time a belief comes up, I start looking for the one that believes that one. It feels amazing. Like, it's almost like, come on, bring something up so I can look for you. Because
yeah,
I'm really like looking for them. It's like opening a present.
yeah.
Like every time I go to look for the person, I get this whole new, oh, I just can't even describe it. It's just amazing. It's like a bliss.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, and oh, I've gone into a blank. I was going to say something, but kind of gone. Yeah, I'm just so grateful. Um,
It's beautiful, really beautiful. And
um, yeah. Sorry, I've gone into a complete blank.
nothing wrong with
Whatever
that.
it was.
Actually, you're just in the silence is just here, right? The presence. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know what I was going to say. The last lady. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. But I'm so grateful to you because I was asking what's here now, and then she was talking about the war, and I realized that as as me, like she's me, that I was being shown in that moment that there was a little bit of a war between, there was a little bit of separation between me and the person that's accused me of this thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
And then I realized, no, she's me. And then you said, oh, they're lost in their thoughts. And I realized, yes, she's having these thoughts about me. She doesn't actually know that I'm her.
Yeah.
Um, so she's lost in her thoughts of what she thinks she's seeing, and which is me,
Hmm.
lost in my thoughts somewhere in that moment. And I just love that part. I just know I don't have to try and get rid of that part. I'm the now that's loving that. I don't actually have to let that go because as soon as I try and look for that part and let it go, I'm it again. I'm an illusion again.
Hmm. Wow.
So I'm just surrendering. And I'm realizing that every single thing that comes up in me as a seeming human is a doorway. Like
Yeah.
absolutely everything, even like, should I eat this or not? It's me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It's so funny.
That question has been my doorway, truth or illusion, many times. Should I eat this or not? Yeah, definitely.
If I eat it or not, it actually doesn't even matter.
Mm.
It just isn't even real. It's just love anyway.
Beautiful.
Like even the apple or whatever is love. So it's not even anything. It's hilarious.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
sharing, love. It's good to see you smiling
Oh,
again after a big letting go earlier. Thank you so,
oh,
so
I'm so
much.
great. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you, Helen. I know that sounds separation, but I know you're me. We're not
But
separated.
all these bodies together, right? Just supporting each other and
Oh, all of us.
yeah, walking the path together,
Thank you.
definitely. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
love.
so much.
Thank you.
Love you, love you, love you.
Love you too. Love you too. Okay. We will go to Sally. So I'll take the hands that are up, but probably we won't have time for any more. So thank you. Hi, Sally. There we go.
Oh, hi. Oh,
Hi.
this is great. I haven't, this is the first time I've been on live. I've watched you on the internet, but yeah, this is the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, glad you could be here live. It's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. I just, before I say what I was going to ask you, I just want to send my love to Mitra because I met her at a retreat in Australia a few years ago
Oh,
and we
wow.
connected there. We connected there. So just, hi, Mitra, love, 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 sending love. Yeah, I really I really enjoyed what you spoke of in the beginning. And the only reason I put my hand up is I kind of wanted to, you sort of invited, you said something if anybody wanted to tune into that, or
Yeah,
that's really what I'm kind of wanting
absolutely.
to use the presence of you and everyone else to
Yeah.
um, go into that because I feel it's available, but I know that I don't stay there, like I kind of, any help to kind of, look, it's just to be with you and go into that really. And you can be as direct like you were with me, True, just say anything to me because I'm wide open to, I won't be offended or go, I'll just be I'm so open to anything you can see or any help.
Thank you. Wonderful.
um, yeah, so I think I am able to, well, no, I know I'm able to tune into that. Like there's a
Let's
little
do
bit of
it
hesitation.
now. Let's
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
now,
okay,
shall
great,
we? Yeah.
great, yeah.
Let's have a look and see what do you find when you look for yourself? What is here? No right or wrong answers. We're just exploring together. Everyone else can join in too.
Well, I'm sitting in front of a window and there's apple trees outside, right?
Mhm.
And the leaves are all moving. And so I feel when you say that, there's a sort of a vibration in my body, but I do feel like what I kind of really am is this continuous thing that goes on out there. And I don't, but I can also go into my thoughts and feel identified. But at the moment, I can feel into something bigger that's, I don't know what it is, but it's quite normal. It's just what's out there, but
Shall we give it a
it's
name just for sake of talking
yeah,
about it?
yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
name
What
you
do
feel.
um, I just think it's isness or something like
Business, yeah.
that. Like it's just yeah, something here, but it's not me. It's not. It doesn't feel identified. It just feels sort of, it's an aliveness. It's just
Mm.
what's here. But it's also gentle and normal. It's not some psychedelic sort of out there. It's
It's
we're
too easy
talking
to miss it, right? Because
normal
it's so
normal
normal.
reality.
Yeah,
Normal
yeah.
reality. Yeah.
So this alive isness, let's check in with it. Is it form or formless?
Well, it feels like it has no, okay, yeah. It's see, I've got trees and things that there's a lot of forms there, but the isness
Well, first of
is very
all, yeah.
fine. It's very fine. Yeah, I think it's sort of, yeah, I find it hard with this form thing because there's solid trees and things out there, right? But the isness is not, it's like invisible, but it
Yeah.
feels like it's everywhere, but I can't see it. So it's just a kind of a
Well,
feeling, you know what I
you
mean?
can't see it with your eyes, but something is seeing it, right? Somehow you know it's here, isn't
Yeah, yeah,
it? Yeah,
okay.
like
How
an
I
inner
feel it
seeing. Yeah.
in my body, there's a kind of an energy, and it feels like that is kind of connected to it. That gives me. as there's sort of a validation somehow that the energy and there's a sort of a quality that seems to run through it all, kind of that's yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
I don't know if the body things, that's how I experience it here. It's that
But
validates it to make it real, kind of.
Yeah, let's slow it down a little bit. The isness itself, when we look, it's not something visible or tangible, and it's not a feeling in itself. It doesn't, first of, before it becomes a tree or a human being, it's not a feeling. When we notice the isness, it produces a kind of feeling in the body, like you said, right?
Mm,
There's a recognition, your body's going, yeah, this is true, this is true, this is real.
mm.
But the isness itself doesn't really have any tangibility, right?
No. It doesn't have a quality, but that's the
Yeah.
weird thing about it.
But then it looks like a tree or a person, a
Yeah.
human being, yeah. And it has qualities then. It can do both, right? It can be its invisible, formless nothingness, or it can show up
Yeah.
as all of this.
Yes, exactly.
Wonderful.
But I'd
So,
have to say, maybe where I'm a bit caught
mhm.
is that it's almost like as I look at the tree and I think, well, the isness, where is it? But I can't really see. Well, I can't because I can't see. Yeah, my mind's getting stirred up, isn't it? It's like trying to understand it or something.
So let's just go back to the before it becomes a form, just this alive
Mm.
isness. Let's experience it now together.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to
And
close my eyes. Is that okay? Yeah.
absolutely, whatever helps
Mm.
you. So
Mm.
we're experiencing it together, and we know it's here. If we feel into it, we can feel it doesn't really have any edges or boundaries. It seems to be everywhere, pretty much,
Mm.
right? It just,
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
it's not in a particular place like a form. The trees are in one place, your body's sitting in another place, but the
Mm.
isness and its formlessness, it's just, it has no location. Or we
Mm.
could say it's in every location.
Mm.
And does it need to stay away from illusion, this isness? Can it get caught in illusion?
No, because it's just free of that. It's not. It's free of that. It's like a different realm or a different. It's untouchable or it's not. You can't affect it. You can't change
Nothing
it.
can really touch it, right? As you say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, because it's not in the realm of thought, or it's sort
Yeah.
of like it's a free thing that's not affected by things, kind of.
So, and this again is a question that might be challenging to answer, but it's not really about getting an answer. It's just about exploring this question together.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking from the isness or at the isness?
If I look and I go into my mind, it feels like it's from, but if I let go of that realm of thinking,
Mm.
it's like
So we're looking for direct
it's
experience here
just
again.
everywhere.
Like,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
just as an experience, it's just I can't even go into what you asked me. It's just a sort of something that's here. It's not, yeah, it's not, no, it's not from outside. It's just,
You're
yeah,
looking.
I guess I'm in it or part of it or something like that.
So if you're in it or part of
Mm,
it, you must be
mm,
something else, something other than it, right? There must be two if you're in it or
mm.
part of it. Let's check this isness. You
Yeah,
do it so well.
exactly. That's where I'm caught. That's where I'm
So can
caught.
this isness be divided into pieces?
No, it can't. That's the weird thing. No, I can't. No.
And you're doing so well. Is there a person called Sally running around inside the isness, being in
No,
it?
no, no, no.
So that leaves only isness. appearing as a
Yeah.
body, appearing as trees, appearing as thoughts, even appearing as illusion, actually, but never really those things. Isness doing a good
Okay.
impression of a person.
Okay. What's coming up now? I can be there, and then
Mhm.
there's this feeling, and this is where this is so helpful. What happens? I get there. It's like, but it's like I think it must be fear, but it doesn't feel like fear in the body, but it
Mhm.
feels like I can't let myself go because like I it's like I'm not there, but I'm too there's something stopping me fully staying, and it's a fear of not being here kind of thing. There's a sort of a
Like you'll disappear or something, cease to
yeah,
exist.
that
Yeah.
well, I have disappeared when I'm there, and I can't kind of
Let's,
I can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. I can't do
yeah.
that. I'm not allowed to. These are ideas, but I'm telling you, it's got that kind of energy to it.
I
It's
remember the
sort of,
same thing coming up, and it is
mm,
a really palpable fear that if I go into
yeah,
this
it's
any
sort of,
deeper, I'm gonna disappear or something, right?
well, because you kind of have, I can feel I'm disappeared, but it's like,
Well,
I'm not
did you
allowed to stay here.
disappear?
I'm not
Did
allowed
you?
to stay.
We looked for what you really are, and we found this alive isness, and then we
Yeah,
checked if there was a person inside it, and there wasn't.
no.
So has this person that we thought we were, has it actually disappeared, or are we just seeing that it never was there? It seems to be
Look,
there.
it's not really there. It's a real thing because it's absolutely not. But it's an
So it's
idea. It's an
so it's
idea.
important to check this out because if we think it
Mm,
is there and then it vanishes when we look at isness, we're going to be scared of ourselves disappearing. But when we
mm.
actually look together, and let's do it again now, let's go to
Yeah,
this
yeah.
alive isness that we are. Is there any person in there to disappear or die or cease to exist?
No.
So when our attention is on form, the body, the thoughts, and all of that, it seems like there's a
Mm,
person.
mm,
But when we look at who's aware of that body and the form and the thoughts and everything, we find only the isness, not a person.
yeah, yeah.
So checking this out again and again, like we've just done, we begin
So
to
there's
see.
nothing to lose. It's going to be
Yeah.
like this, but it's just I get more comfortable with feeling
Well,
more
for
of this
me,
isness and less Sally, kind of like
well,
that.
it's more like you end up celebrating both. I am the formless, invisible isness that's been here forever, could never die.
Mm,
Nothing can hurt it, touch it. And I'm also
mm,
appearing as Sally, the human being, made from isness. And I can enjoy that too when I know that it's not all I am, right? This body and mind. Like right now, I can
mm,
enjoy being Helen because it's not all I am. There's no fear about when it
mm,
goes.
mm,
So, like you said, perfect. So, just like you said, you're not going to lose anything. You can't lose anything here because
mm,
as we keep checking out this isness and seeing there's no person there in isness,
mm,
no separate
mm,
entity, then it
mm.
becomes clear that this is what you've always been. There's no changeover. You're not upgrading from the person to the
Ah,
isness,
cool. Yeah, yeah. This is
right?
good. This is good though, because that's where the fear is that
Yeah.
there's
And a
some.
lot of people have it. I certainly did.
Mm,
But as I kept seeing again and again, no, this is what I've always been. I am it now, this isness. I still can't find a person every time I look. It still isn't
mm,
there. Right, let's check again.
mm,
Is there a someone
yeah,
here?
yeah. No, no,
It's,
no. It's not. It's yeah. I can. It's
yeah.
not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So
Okay. So
the
that.
mind is scared
Yeah.
because it can't see this, right? It thinks you are a someone that's going to vanish when you merge into
Yeah.
isness or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just proving to yourself like this, coming to what you really are again and again and
Mm,
again, and confirming that this is what you
mm,
already are. There's no
mm,
changeover going. You're just kind of seeing clearly what's always
mm,
been so. Then the fear
Hmm.
starts to diminish and then eventually it's gone.
Yeah, okay. So it's just like a crossfade into, yeah, I sort of
The
feel,
mind
yeah.
thinks you're going from being a someone to being the isness, and that it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
cost you everything, to do
Yes.
that. Even your existence is going to go, it
Yeah.
says. But
Yes,
the more we
yes.
see that this is what we've always been, we're just kind of looking in a mirror and saying, oh, that's what I am.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Then these
Yes.
fears disappear.
But this isness, it's quite ordinary, right? It's not
Absolutely. So
sometimes when you,
ordinary, we have
yeah,
missed it our whole lives, right? So
yeah,
ordinary. Just this
yeah.
here, now, this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because sometimes with the spiritual stuff, not you particularly, but you know what I mean. People talk about things, and you sort of feel like you're looking for something more special. But this is like what's here, and in a
Well,
very subtle way.
it's one of those things, isn't it, that is extraordinary and ordinary at the same time. It's ordinary
Mm,
because it's just the empty space between my hands and around my body, and it's just
mm,
always been here, and I've always overlooked it. And in fact, I was even, my mind felt disappointed when I first recognized it. Well, this isn't exciting. This is dull. Always seeking just to find something that's so dull, you know?
yeah.
That's it. I'm giving up awakening. I'm going home. I'm not doing it anymore. But uh,
Mm,
but over time, as these fears and these doubts and these old ideas about ourselves begin to fade because we're seeing this is what we've always been,
mm,
then it actually starts to reveal itself as something that looks and feels ordinary, but really is. I don't have a word actually right now. I was going to say
yeah.
magnificent. And if I go too far into this, I'll end up crying. What I found hidden inside this package of ordinariness is something that is beyond description.
Mm, mm-hmm,
But first, when we experience isness, it just feels like isness. But if we can be
mm,
really curious, we can do it right
mm.
now if you want to.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yep, yep.
Let's just and again, everyone can do this with us. Let's dive into that isness.
Mm,
Really, really curious. What is it? Let's let go of ideas about it. What is it? As if someone's given you a new toy. You're 5 years old. Here's a new toy. Have a look at it, play with it. What is isness? What is it? Really, really curious.
no, no, I can see what you mean. It's amazing. It's amazing because yeah, you can't really.
And that is the tip
It's
of an
because it's beyond
infinite.
concepts. It's beyond
Yeah.
concept. It's like, how could this be something so nothing but so everything at the same time? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind
So
of like,
full of
like
yeah.
it's incredible that it could be true that you could make the apple tree and the, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of amazing
How
that
does
it's
it look
all
like an
right.
apple
Yeah,
tree in a human being when it's completely formless? I don't know how it does
yeah,
that. How do we
yeah,
do that?
yeah.
So for me, I realized that, I mean, I used to call it presence and silence and stillness, of course, isness as well, all kinds of names. But I realized I was hung up on the word and I wanted to know what it pointed to. What does that mean?
Mm,
And I got curious like we just did, and it began to feel, not actually feeling, but the effect it had on the
mm,
body was very different. And peace and contentment, bliss, joy eventually developed. And I realized that I never, ever, ever want to think I know what it is. I would always love to
mm,
be in a discovery of what it
mm,
actually is, what I actually am. What is it like to
mm,
live the rest of your life discovering a little bit more of this infinite iceberg? This tiny tip of it has been above the surface, and we go, that's what
mm,
isness
mm,
is. But there's this whole thing
mm.
that you can never get to the end of in the most glorious way.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
day is
yeah.
a new opportunity to discover. You'll never experience isness the same way twice, which is really bizarre, seeing as how it's the same thing every time. But
Yes,
your body is
exactly.
gonna sing a little bit more every day as we're letting go of these old ideas.
Yeah.
And there's something letting go inside as well. Maybe you can feel it of trying to know what isness is. Like I need to put it in a box and
Yeah,
write
yeah.
this is what it is.
No, no. Yeah, I do feel that. I definitely feel that. I don't really want to go into thinking about it when I'm kind of
Yeah.
in it, or when I'm in that sort of space of just being there. I don't really want to engage my mind because it feels too
Yeah.
tight.
And
Yeah,
hidden inside this thing that seems ordinary is something beyond description and worth every single moment of suffering we think we've experienced to recognize it. I would do it all again 10 million times for
yeah,
a day of living like this, an hour even,
yeah,
Just looking like we did together each day, proving that you're
yeah,
already
yeah,
it.
yeah. And
Yeah.
also, don't need to lose anything. That's the help.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, yeah,
There's only one thing you'll lose doing this awakening, and that is the ability to think that this is all you are. You are this body and mind too.
yeah.
But this
No,
one idea that this is all we are,
yeah,
that's what's terrifying, right? That's the only thing you'll lose. And for me, it
yeah,
was much more like an upgrade. I am this, but I am this too. This,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
this is, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Mm.
that's great. Thank you so much. That was really wonderful working
Oh,
with
I'm
you.
sure you've
Lovely.
helped everyone with your beautiful inquiry there. I think a
Oh,
lot of
it's
people have
really
that
touching.
fear, that fear of
Yeah,
I'm going to vanish or disappear or something.
yeah, yes. It's just something that comes up. Yeah, I know that, but that's helpful. Just yeah, it's so helpful. Really, really beautiful. Thank you.
Wonderful. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you for everyone being here. Thank you.
What a wonderful family. We're blessed, aren't we? Thank you. Okay, we'll go to Sean. Excuse me. There we go. Hi.
Hi, Helen. Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wow, what a great style of teaching you have. I've been coming for a couple months, and this is just really special.
Oh,
Uh,
welcome, welcome.
and I feel like you've already answered my question this whole
We
this
I
whole
love
time.
to let's do it again. I love it. It's my favorite thing. So
I'll ask again. Okay, maybe I'll just describe a little bit of the experience I'm having, and then a more solid question will form.
mm,
Um, okay, so yeah, the dissolution of the seeker, really feeling that more and more profoundly, and it's accompanied by like coming deeper and deeper into the body, into the felt sense. There's more energy, there's more space, and there's more continuity of awareness,
yeah.
right? And the states that used to be the peak experiences are coming about in the middle of the day in ordinary circumstances, and I'm not lost. I'm like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
And then, of course, another contraction of the mind happens.
Of course.
And
I
it's
love how
so
you say
true.
of course. Yeah.
Right. And but it's so surprising every time. Like the intensity is matched by the intensity of the contraction, and the emotion is matched, it seems, by the space that is there for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that my ability to stay with it and understand that there's a storm going on that isn't me grows
Mm-hmm.
each time.
Yeah.
And I know there's momentum building, but it's just absolutely bewildering. Like even today. Um, so I don't know. Maybe if you just you've already given the answer earlier today. You keep choosing truth. You ask the question again and again until you just know that it's not. There's no answer you would ever pick.
Mm-hmm.
Where there's pain in the body, where there's constriction, you know it's the wrong way. Um,
But it
I don't know.
also, I think it helps for me, there was a particularly challenging part of awakening. That there's more and more identities rooted in what is real, isness is, or presence, whatever we're calling it. And when some old fragment does come up, it can be surprisingly intense and sudden. And more and more, we might have a sense that we are watching it also. Maybe some part of us feels like we're identifying with it, but some is also just watching. But that can be, for me, it was just very thick and fast. There were so many things coming up, because these things that we can finally look at them from this place, things that we couldn't face before. For example, if I don't think I'm good enough as a person, I'm not going to be able to look at that until I realize I'm not a person. I'll try to look at it every time it comes up, but it feels about me. And if I look at this idea that I'm not good enough and I find out it's true as a person, it's going to be awful, right? Or I'm not safe or something, or I'm doubting myself. So these things come flooding thick and fast to the surface when we're starting to really see who we are and getting the ability to kind of live as that more and more because we can finally witness them, without believing them 100% and also without pushing them away. We can finally be with it. Um, that doesn't mean it's a pleasant process at all. For me, it was, I don't know, about 18 months of just so much stuff coming to be looked at. Um, the difference being, I think, now is that we always retain some kind of knowing that it's not really who I am. It's clearer and clearer. And it's not 100% of us getting lost in that, right? It's not like, oh, I went with these thoughts for 5 hours and suddenly came back and realized something went and played, but something was always still here watching. Can you get a sense of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the more we've seen who we really are, the less ability we have to suppress it. So when it comes up with sometimes quite an surprising intensity as well, which can be very different because there's nothing within us that wants to push it away. There's just allowing it to arise in its fullness. So that's very different to how we've lived before. Usually we spent the whole time pushing something away, and it only comes up when we literally can't hold it down anymore. So it is
Yeah.
different. It's good to just kind of talk about that, and it's not um it's not always the easiest part of awakening.
No, and it gets confusing. It's just yeah, I don't think I have any more words about it. You answered beautifully, and I think just keep choosing in the same way. I just keep ending up at the dead ends, right?
Yeah.
It hurts so bad I can't go that way. I have to, yeah,
And it hurts so bad because this idea that's coming up or an emotion or whatever is so untrue. It's always been untrue. But now compared to the body and mind frequency, which is getting higher and higher, what we really are isn't a frequency. It's not manifest. But the body and the effect it has on the body and mind is the frequencies getting higher, the life force is increasing. So this thing is our overall energy used to be down here, and this thought that we're dealing with is here. Now we're up here, and there's a huge gap, and you can feel that feels terrible. Before it was normal, right? We just lived our whole life from there. So I think for me, just understanding why it suddenly felt so intense was helpful in those moments, at least.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's wonderful to talk to you, and also to, all these conversations, they just help us, I don't know, accept a little bit more instead of blaming ourselves that we're doing something wrong, right? When when we feel something arising. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Helen.
Thank you. Wonderful. So we'll finish with Tanya tonight.
Hi,
Hi.
Helen.
Hi.
Okay. Um, I don't know, things are just getting better and better, like internally, and I'm just experiencing a lot more happiness and joy. And okay, some of my practices have fell away. Okay, they did for a while. Some are coming back on their own, but they feel different. Um,
Is the doers
and
gone,
they're,
right? Going.
yeah, going, gone, I would say for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
she'll hang out in some sneaky places, but
Yes, and I'm
a lot of
noticing
it's
that
falling
sneakiness.
away, right? Yeah.
Um, and I'm noticing there's a lot of self-acquiring going on, like it's happening on its own. And then I notice when things are coming up, that instantly, if it doesn't pop up on its own, like I'll question it.
Hmm.
There's a questioning or it's questioning itself, which just sounds weird, but it's true. And then
I get it.
it's bizarre. And then I'm having situations with people, some people, not all people, but some people where things would have been really triggering. And then I'm noticing that I'm able to just hold my peace and that I really don't have to get into it. And I can let them get into it, but I don't have to touch it anymore. And that feels nice. And I noticed that when I'm doing meditation, I'm also, or sometimes self-inquiry, that meditation is happening, self-inquiry is happening, and then all of a sudden it just stops. And I've noticed that I've been sitting in this delicious, I don't know, kind of space. Like I forgot everything I was doing, and I just sitting here in the clouds, I guess, of nothingness. And that's also great too. But then today I did notice that um so there is this kind of issue that's come up where I don't know how my rent is getting paid. I have no idea. I really don't. And I know that sitting around thinking about it's not going to fix it because I don't know what to do about it. And I haven't been. I actually completely forgot about it for about
Wow.
half a week now, till today when I realized the date and went, oh shit, rent's not getting paid and I still don't know how that's going to happen. And I really, I'm really not sure what my question is here, but I know that this is coming up and this sense of lack in funds or lack in time to do all the 50 million meditations I'd like to be doing because that's all I want to do
Only 50
anymore.
million. Only 50 million.
And it's not because I want to do it because I'm getting
Mm.
somewhere. I know I'm not. It's just because that's all I want to do anymore is question everything. And I'm spending less and less time with people because of that. And I know this seeming lack of money situation is coming up to be seen.
Mm.
Obviously, something is living inside of me still because it wouldn't be coming up so strong, especially now. And I don't know how to take this sense of lack or limitation further into self-inquiry, like
Mm.
really deep dive into it. And I was just wondering if maybe you could help me do that. So I don't
Yeah.
really know what my question is, but I just know I want to go deep down inside of something.
Yeah. First of all, before I forget, in the community, when you log in, for people, for context, people who are members of the community get access to pages on the website. There is actually a 30-day abundance and lack challenge, which would be really good if you haven't seen it already. I think we can point you to it anyway, which page it's on. But if you can, let's look at this sense of lack now here together. And I totally get where you're speaking from. Life took me to a point where some things were due to go out of my bank account the very next day, and it's 10 p.m. at night, and there's not enough money in there. Time and time again, this happened, and I tried everything I could think of. and everything I could think of just made it worse. So there was some kind of surrender to, I just don't know, and it wasn't a graceful surrender. It was like I can't think of anything else I could actually try. Both spiritually, I've done every practice I can think of, and physically, I've tried to get more money coming in, and um, I had this idea that for financial abundance or any abundance to come, because abundance can come in a lot more forms, that I somehow had to learn to trust before it could come. What happened was really quite the opposite. Despite the mind's I mean, I was at the point where I couldn't sleep at night, and I had young children at the time, very young children. And what actually happened was every time it got to that point where something had to happen, some miracle had to happen to pay this bill that was going to go out my account. And literally every time something happened. But like, I mean, I actually ended up writing them all down one time because there were so many weird and wonderful little things that just showed up when I needed something, some money. And it taught me that actually I don't even need trust um, to let abundance come in. I'm saying this because sometimes we have this idea. In fact, a trust began to develop, trust that life was going to look after me, began to develop after the abundance was already coming in. But let's dig down even further now into this sense. When you think about the money situation, I think you said the word lack or limitation. Did you say limitation?
Yeah, it's like before I thought the same thing. I thought it was a trust,
Hmm.
but I'm trusting more and more and more, so that almost sounds preposterous. And I'm not panicked, and I
I can
normally
see
would
that.
be panicked right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So there has to be some sort of trust going on because, like, this is weird. So I'm thinking maybe it's not actually trust like you're saying, and maybe it's just this lack or limitations
Yeah.
thing, because it's like that seems to be a theme. I have lack of time to do the 50,000 meditations I'd love to be doing, just be doing them. I, have a lack or limitation about how I'm going to pay the rent, or
Well,
it seems to be a theme.
yeah, you can notice every lack of energy, lack of
Oh
everything
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah, lack.
So let's tune in let's do some inquiry and see what you really are. So let's have a look and see what do you find. And anyone that's feeling any sense of lack can also join in. Even if you're not feeling lack, you can let's recognize one more time, experience directly what we are.
Here, here, the, here, the word lack just seems ridiculous because there's nothing here. There's no limit. There's no lack because there's no thing here.
So
A lot of heat though. Like suddenly there's a lot of heat, which has been happening lately. A lot of heat.
a lot of energy gets liberated in the body. Sometimes you feel it as heat. So this no thingness that you're finding, where is it?
Absolutely everywhere. It's nowhere and everywhere all at the same time. Like nowhere in particular because there's no pinpoint, but everywhere. It's everything. I don't know. It's just all all consuming.
Can it be absent from anywhere? Can you be absent from anywhere?
No,
Beautiful. And is there anything that you could need here, such as money or time or energy?
No, no,
There's no thing to need, right? Outside of this nothingness. And there's nobody to need it.
no.
So perhaps we could say that you can show up as a someone needing something and something that is needed.
Yeah, I see that.
So is there any difference between this nothingness that you are and money? Is there any difference between them? Are they really two things?
No, it's the same thing.
So money looks like money, but it's really made of something. If you get right down into the roots of it.
It's made of the same stuff.
Mhm.
This no stuff.
So what controls then whether it shows up as abundance or lack? What is the determining factor in that? If it's going to manifest, this nothingness is going to manifest as something, either more than enough money or not enough money. What is it that determines that?
So I want to say like it's just a thought or a belief coming from a separate person. That's what I would like to say, but I don't really know.
Well, let's look. Is there a person? Is there a entity called Tanya running around inside or outside of this, whatever, in this
No,
nothing?
no, there's no Tammy here anymore. There never was.
And is there even any such thing as money here?
No,
Any banks here?
no.
So we're not avoiding the issue. We're just trying to take it down to its deepest root. And can you lack anything then? Can you experience lack?
Again, I want to say no, but here, here I am. I don't know what's going on here.
So let's just look at this. You seem to be experiencing lack, not enough of
Mm-hmm.
something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So can you run out of something or not have enough of something? Like money, there's the example here. If it's not actually different to you, if money is you,
Mm-hmm.
made of the same nothingness, you said, as the body and everything else, right?
Yep.
Can you run out of it?
No.
You, the nothingness, are the source of all things. Not source as in like ketchup, but the source as in where it arises from. Although you are also ketchup.
I
But
was just going to say that.
so it's just some old way that we think, right? That hasn't really been examined. I know what money is, and I know that I can run out of it. And in those moments, even if there's no strong emotion left, which is great, there's no freaking out, but still we tend to think of money as an object and ourselves as an object, and this thing has to come to this. But can that ever be so? For me, I had to realize I'm arising as money, I'm arising as this body and the bank and everything, right? The bills and all of that. I had to really look and see again and again, can I run out of anything if I am the source of everything? And I had to see this again and again. No, it's not true. I had to experience it. It can't be so, right? Let's experience it one more time. Can you run out of anything?
No, because I'm nothing and I'm everything.
And it's not like when you manifest into a form that you're depleting yourself. There's less of you left, right? And you're going to run out of stuff to create forms from. It's just not like that, is it?
No.
Endless supply, infinite supply. You can show up as the universe, a tree, money, a house, a person, a car, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just looking at this every day, me, I'm going to say 30 days so that we really change the way we think. And you see if you can catch it every time you think you're running out, even if there's no big freaking going on, just noticing, oh, I think I need something. And it seems contradictory because in that moment we might really seem to need something. And again, we're not ignoring the problem. We just can't solve it from this place of separation, right? Me and money.
Mm-hmm.
It just can't be solved from there. And we've tried.
Oh yes, I freaked out, and I know that's it's just preposterous, really. It's not going to help anything, and I know, like, I also know that I'm not separate from that. It's like it's so clear, but
But then to
yeah, here I
apply that,
am.
but then to apply that in that moment, right? When
Yeah.
the thought arises, what am I going to do? I can't pay this or I don't have enough. Just to remember, this can't be what's real here. This can't be what's true. I seem to be running out of something, but is that possible? And actually looking and experiencing.
I'm looking.
Yeah. And
Okay.
one last thing about this, because again, this was another part, I had to see this next bit too, that in this nothingness, there's no time, right? There's no time.
No.
And let's say it's the 29th of the month, and tomorrow is the last day of the month, and a lot of bills are going to go out on the 1st. My mind said, I want the money here now on the 29th, but so that I know I've got it for the 1st. But in the nothingness, if there's no sense of time, it only needs to be there in the now that when the bill,
Mm-hmm.
right before the bills go out, right?
Yeah.
So I had to realize that there is no before. I don't in what's real, right? I can't say that I need the money 2 weeks before I have to pay it. When I relaxed about that a little bit, it would always show up before it was needed. And then it began to show up with a little bit spare than everything was needed. And then it showed up a lot before it was needed. And then sometimes money would show up. I didn't even know what it had come for. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, something happened, like our fridge broke. Oh, that's what it's for.
Right.
Because the sense of time, with the mind, we insist in our thoughts, I need this now. But it's, 3 or 4 days before we actually need it. So it's just
Never,
something that's in
never
there
thought of that before.
because there is no time in that which we are. And in the now that it's
I think that
needed,
was important for me to hear that because I've
yeah,
never actually had that thought before.
it got me for a long time, even I realized I can't need anything. Okay, but I want it now in my account now, and I was imposing a sense of time on this timelessness. When I stopped
Yeah.
doing that, it was actually able to show up before it was needed without it getting right down to the last hour,
Hmm.
you know.
Well, I think that was pretty important for me to hear.
Wonderful.
I've really never looked at it like from that. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you
we
so
play around with
much.
these doorways and the sense of nowness, just kind of, now, this now moment, another name for what we are. It suddenly presented itself when I was looking at this, and it's like, okay, there is only this now. And any sense of needing it before or getting ready for something later, I had to let go of that kind of thinking.
Yeah, now that you said it, I realized today when I realized the date and I realized I had forgotten pretty much all week about it.
Mhm.
which felt good.
Because there was no sense of time then, right?
No,
Suddenly
that
the
and then it
time,
brought that
yeah,
time in. It was like, oh, well, I need that by this time, and if that doesn't happen, this is going to bounce, and then I need it by at least this. This was very important for me
yeah,
to hear. Thank you so
oh, good.
very
I'm really glad.
much.
Hopefully,
Thank
I
you.
can help you shortcut a process that was very long and drawn out for me that really didn't need to be. But yeah,
Thank you so much just for everything, for your teachings. God, you've touched me in a place like nobody has ever been able to like touch me. Like your teachings
you're gonna
mean
make me
everything
cry
to
again.
me. I just
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for being you, for being me and being you.
The you that went before. Yeah, never mind. That's gonna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Good to talk to you. Thank you. Whew, okay. So, what a wonderful, wonderful time to be together like this and to share in this openness and this gentle, gentle turning towards what is true. That's all we've done in this session, really, in this satsang. And we can make our whole life a satsang in that way. We can be more determined without pushing, more determined, more devoted to what's already real about us, what's already true. Thank you so much for being here with me. Lots of love. Namaste.
Thank you, Helen. Love you so much.
Thank you, love. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, Helen.